Good evening. Welcome to another live FB. This is Martin Wong here. Thank you for coming tonight and thank you for sharing. It's amazing. We are almost 2 more weeks to Christmas and almost end of the year. And if you can have followed us, we've been with you since the beginning of January, even going back as far back as before COVID, when live FB is available. That's how we are here, rain or shine. Trade VSA and our coaches, myself, the co-founder of Trade VSA, Martin Wong here, would be with you. And thank you for sharing tonight in this live FB in your video. And again, tonight a very interesting topic. So let's get started as the time is here. So if you have any question, any strong comment or whatsoever. I know many of you are pretty quiet, especially our members in here, but we do hope that we can give some feedback, then we can sort of move forward the kind of topics that we are going to in here. And I do know that partly our Trade VSA has been very successful due to the support that we've been getting from you, and also some of our members continue to refer them to their friends and colleagues in here. So thank you again. Thank you for support. And I do think for the year ending 2022, it may be bad, no doubt about it. The entire global market is heading to uncertainty, definitely with the Russian-Ukraine war escalating the inflation and the cost of living, and then the general election 15, where we have a hung parliament, to a unity government, and to a cabinet that may and may not people liked it at all, and as well as the 19th of December, where the possibility of vote or confidence. So let's get started for this for this evening in here, as we go on to the usual points that will be the talking point for tonight in here. Now, of course, we are talking a lot about the one of the most popular sector, which is the tech stocks, which we've been talking for many months, although some of you may be certain preferences for plantation stocks or energy stocks, but technology has been profiled pretty much the so-called the pinnacle of the Trade VSA, as is given a lot of opportunity, and those who have captured it, I think the shorter term trading strategy would have worked much better. And we really appreciate if you can give us a thumbs up, then we really know that many of you who are listening does have you. So thank you again for coming, and let's get started, shall we? All right, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That will help us and allow other people to find us too. Really thank you for your generous support here. And tonight's sharing is going to be the rise of the technology sector. Now, we always talk about it when earlier on, I think some of the live Facebook, which already done as part of our series education every Wednesday night, we do flash it out. And I think if you have not followed it, check out our YouTube channel and also our live FB. We've been talking every single topic about it, and some of them happen to be in November, because we do spot some of these movement of the stocks. And if you have joined our Telegram chat group, my fellow senior trainer Zach has been diligently always informing all of you to get ready into the market right now. But if you have found out in here, a couple of points I want to share with you in here, so that you were aware of it before you jump into the market, and also know what are the final points before getting in. I think that's also important. No doubt the year end fourth quarter continue to go, lots of market volatility that we've seen also in the US market. It was up when they talk about the interest rate hike maybe somehow delay, or maybe pare down a bit in here, and then suddenly the recession, which is pretty much the talk of the town, the background of all things here, we will also talk about in here. And the Christmas rally, which is only 2 weeks ago, so we have to see, and I'm going to give you a clue if we're going to see a Christmas rally or not. Shall we? Let's get started. All right. So, of course, we are very proud of our Trade VSA 2022 features, which is the visual trading plan, as well to the risk to reward ratio, and our stock alert notification. Some of you may have used it yet, and we are also going around in there. Check out our VSA 360. And don't forget, we have our special December sale where you can buy one, get one free. So all you got to do to enjoy a 50% discount is to find another friend to join and subscribe to our VSA 360 proprietary Pentagon system in here, where you will get all the benefits that we are talking in here, just like now what we are talking about. So make sure you know and aware of our December sale. Now let's look at our market right now for the KLSE outlook. As you can see, let me just bring out my of course, I can always reuse the VSA 360 in here. And we have this big jump, which is on the 24th of November. I think this was after the Prime Minister, the 10th Prime Minister, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, was sort of being sworn in the next day at 5 p.m. was pretty good at the unity government. And you could see even prior to the general election, the market did know something. If you look at it in here, you could see it was already green Pentagon, but unfortunately today something has so-called switched the KLCI into red Pentagon. So be aware, the algorithm has turned red Pentagon. So what happened is we need to be very cautious. Any trades that you have, be ready to chop out if you need to. And if the market were to break this two moving average, no doubt you have this nice railway track which is still going upwards. But if it does break any of those two railway track, it's time to exit, which we did have it somewhere in the 6th of November. But the market did hold on. So that's why you need to strategize to both short-term and longer-term. So that's the outlook. So right now, red Pentagon, be very, very careful as we talk on in here. And I do hope that some of you are also getting this signal as we talk about in here. And let me know what you think in your comment, all right? So let's also look at the foreign funds flows. The new trend from the foreign funds flow has been really disappointing. On the big day, yes, let me just bring up the VSA 360 here. All right, we have a lot. This is the live trading chart. I was going to do it just now in here, and you can see this is the VSA 360, which I always shared and always talk about in here, which has also been the prime and pride of our VSA 360. So you can see from here onwards, only on the day on the 24th where the foreign funds came in because the Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar was appointed in, but that's all. That's all we have. 341 net million coming in, then we have 78, and then we have this one 293 just on top of my head here, and then you have 197 and then 90 million. All this you can actually get it from the local newspaper. So that is also telling you why the KLCI couldn't actually go higher, right? This selling in here, as long as we see more selling, hopefully maybe 1 or 2 days just before the year end, and we have more foreign funds coming. And again, they are very particular about why they come in and why they don't. Really a good studies will be maybe the good policies, or maybe the cabinet lineup hasn't been that very, very pleasant to a lot of the foreign funds, and that's why you see this negative in here. But if they do come in, no doubt this market is likely to move higher. And again, this is from VSA 360. Again, don't forget our December buy one get one free for the VSA 360, and you can enjoy this too. And now also the market is down 4 points this morning. PETDAC is down relatively. All of them are pretty much down, on the down day in here. And you can also look at the new heat map that we have it in here. Overall, all markets are pretty much in the pink or red. Red means it's down 2% here, and this is down 3%, down 2.2, and you can see Ethereum also down -2%. So you can see an overall market in here, and usually this is where you get a perspective or overall market where we are going for. And so going forward, it does look like foreign funds are leaving a bit more in here. We have to see more evidence if they are coming back. Do you agree or not? Now, also looking at the VSA 360, the comment and why we always been bullish, because we do rely on historical data. That's right, historical data. You can see, of course, you may just move my site here. You can see average return for the KLCI hasn't been that great. It's actually -7% return. If you have your money for the last 7 years, I think buy and hold. Again, depending what stocks are, right? This is the entire market. Usually they haven't been really, really profitable, all right? So what you have seen, the total KLSI return so far is -5%, okay? -5% in here. But December month, so far, the last 6 years has been very positive. Partly is because you have this losing November month. Okay, with the exception of 2020, it was a bullish month. So we did had a nice recovery on -1.9. But I remember last year, December, it was the last 3 days, the 31st, the 30th and the 29th, where we have 3 days of just what we call window dressing, that pushing up, and I do believe this is likely to happen this year too. So mark my word for it, you might not see anything moving until the 29th, 30th or 31st, and even if that move, that is always usually the case of those large cap stocks. So that's why you need to trade those individual stocks, and that's why you need those green pentagon on either on the smart Robie apps or on the VSA 360 in here. That will put you in front and giving you that edge that not many people talk about to get you the right market timing. So far, the December, I'm still pretty bullish because I want the statistics to support me. Do you think what I've said here makes sense or not? Give me a comment in here. I'd like to hear that too. And that's how usually we have. All right. So also let's take a look at the other sectors. All right, we have here is the news. That's right. Now this news, which I do cover them as part of my so-called service to our members, Rakuten Trade, which has been the darling of many of the retail trader in here, and they expect the market to end a very, very bullish move, I have to say. 1560 and target 180. No, let's don't talk about 2023, but more like 1560, because it's only 23 day more. A lot of things can happen, as I said before. If you look on the 29th, 30th and 31st of December, it is right that those last 3 day move, the market almost moved 4%. So 4%. Now if you do your maths correctly in here, and he's saying that the market likely to go another 100 points, assuming right now the market is 1466, where it closed this evening on the 7th of December. So another 6 or 7%, which is possible. And take note, market don't move up peacefully like one of our regular audience always say. They always want to have staggered. No, it's not like your salary, where every month you get your salary. No, the stock market don't work like that. It can come, give you, and take away. So that's why education, having the right system, and I do think that many of the public, those listening now, they don't have the right tools or the mindset to do it. They sort of on and off, and consistency. All right, I always talk about the word consistency, the education, the training that will put you at least ahead of the many people out there in here. At least when you're here tonight, this information that I'm sharing with you will help you going forward, of some of the research that you might need to do going ahead. Now, overall, the focus tonight is on the tech sectors, looking at a VSA 360 and a sector analysis. As you can see here, right, definitely we have spotted green pentagon much earlier. All right, you can see from here the green pentagon was spotted even much earlier than everybody was talking about. Let me show you what I mean. It was picked up almost on the 16 or 18, sorry to be precise. It's 18th of October. That was 49 days ago when green pentagon. So that's why it's important to pay attention to all the green pentagon and so forth. Just like tonight we have the red pentagon, whether we see this is a stumbling block and the market continue to sell off, maybe we don't get the December bullishness that we see in here, but that is your warning sign. Just like the beacon in the sea, you know about it in here, no surprises, and you don't get that kind of thing in here. So green pentagon spotted 49 days ago, and of course by right now most people who really want to get into it, they are reluctant, and because our overall market is still pretty much in the bearish market, we don't get the kind of nice 3 months full trend like we would love. You get 1 month of trend, then you get 2 months of no trend, 3 months of downtrend, another 1 month of trend. That has been pretty much the KLSE that we've seen so far, right? For those of you who have seen this market in here. And not to forget, let's look at the VSA 360. Of course, we are very proud to share with you VSA 360, and we do hope that many of you may subscribe, especially right now on our December sales. Take the opportunity right now. Remember, the early bird get the early worm. So let's take a look at the market in here, which, yes, that's right, this is the KLSE sectors. So what we're going to do is just to sort this thing out, and you can see the longest earlier detection was plantation, which is about on the 11th of October. But we have technology, that was the one that gives us the best return, of course, not forgetting energy sector. So you just need to click on this one here, and you can see the energy sector actually made a very nice, and it took up the old high here. All right, you took up the old high here, and this is very interesting. If you want to see the sector breaking up higher, right, you want to make sure the two old resistance, that's 1, 2, 3 here, broken out in here, and we want to see the same thing for technology. So right now we can see 1, 2, 3 sudah sangkut already. You can see here, right, sudah sangkut. Whether it can break higher is going to depend on a couple of factors which we're going to share with you, so make sure you stay towards in the end in here. So that is some of the things that you see insights, and you can use it to your advantage. All right, to your advantage in here. Now next point, which is also important that I want to talk about, is what we see in this market here is the VSA 360. Okay, so I remember I said before earlier on, all right, the market has started on the 18th of October. Now, if you have gone in on the 18th of October or have some sort of plan in here, and that's why we always talk about the VSA 360 will always help you to trade smarter on the 18th of October, and you enter on the second bar, on the opening of second bar. There's always say for beginners, that is your opening to enter the market in here. You enjoy this nice breakout, 18th of October, letting the profit run. But right now, what we've seen so far here, okay, this market is looking rather toppish, and one of the reasons why is that resistance that you see on top there. All right, that resistance. So keep in mind with what you see there, right? And if you do that, then you will see this market likely to see some sort of resistance going forward in here. Okay, so that's what our job as Trade VSA coaches and also the support staff here is to remind you, don't be overly bullish, to be very careful, read all your indicators correctly, have a right tool, and have the right education too. All right, let's move on to another part where I'm talking right now is, so what you just said, Martin, is true. If the market is going to be very toppish, what else can we look at? Well, let's look at something which is a new feature in our Smart Robie, definitely that many of you can do, is looking at the hot sector. Now, there's a comment in here by Harjit Singh saying that RHB the downgraded the semiconductor to neutral. Now, do take note, these analysts usually look at back mirror. They may be right, but we always want to look at the technical. Remember, if it all depends on interest rate. Right now is because they are pricing in a lot of recession, which I'm going to talk about it in here, which is true. They do say this, but I want to comment on it. So you can look at the hot sector in here and use the Smart Robie apps. So definitely when you go into the Smart Robie apps, you will see as of 6th of December, technology is still the hot thing. Energy, property, construction, and utility. All right, in here. And also, some of the ideas is that it's sorted by the Pentagon date, market cap, and percentage. So the key thing here is you want to look at the hot sector, the top sectors, and you want to trade the weakest in the strongest sector in here. Looking at the second and third item, which is the energy sector and the property, if you have time to look into that. And bottom line is you want to catch those that hasn't trend yet. Of course, right now, we are almost at the tail end of the technology sector, and that's what some of these analysts can say what they say. Like usually analysts are always late. By the time they talk about it, the market already reflected high. They can give you an upgrade, with the exception of 2021, where we have the continuing of the rubber glove, which is the COVID, which we had about 2 years. So a lot of rubber gloves did move up, and analysts was writing about it. Everyone was jumping on it. The market still continued to go higher, right? But right now, the market is sort of taper off, as I said before, with the technology stocks, and it's also looking toppish too. So that's why you'll see a lot of people taking money off the table. And being a shorter term, if you're a shorter term, you want to take money off the table too, right? So if you can see from our technology stocks, just go over to your Smart Robie. If not, I'm going to show you here. The item number 1 and item number 2 are those that just recently turned green Pentagon. All right, green Pentagon, which is the 1st of December, 1st of December, 1st of December. But if you scroll right to the bottom, right, you can see those that turned green Pentagon has actually turned in and made about 3.5%, 8.7%, 7%. Now, these are from the opening price after the green Pentagon to yesterday closing price. Okay, so you can see JCY being a penny stocks. That's why they move higher, 25%. Unisem, MYEG, ARB, Emulus, and Awantec. So these are usually the kind of evidence to see that if the Green Pentagon is happened 2-3 weeks ago, you're going to have some percentage gain. I'm going to show you some of the example that if you attended my talk on the 23rd of November, which is about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did talk about the sectors in here, and we're going to review back some of the ideas in here. So keep in mind, this is something you can use up to Smart Robie every day. All right. Now, on the two stocks that we talk about is technologies. These are two examples in here. Is Globetronics and DNO. All right, Globetronics and DNO. So right now, Globetronics has a very good support in here, did turn Green Pentagon and still holding up the level in here. So let's use the VSA 360. Now, if you have not, this is one way you can use the market to advantage. Now take note also of our VSA 360. So you want to put in Globetronics. All right. So you can see Globetronics here is pretty good. One of the stocks I like it is because it pays almost 6% dividend. 5 out of 8 ratings in here. It's very safety in here. Profitable with a high dividend yield, low price to PE, tangible income in here, and it has a good floating share. It hasn't been one of those spectacular shares, as I said before, in here. Partly they are in the test and burn in, but let's take a look at the seasonality in here. Year to date is still down 31%. Okay, 31%, and who knows, they might pick up a bit more this year. The biggest two drops are September and December in here, but this is definitely right now at the market bottom. I do think there's a market bottom. Even if you buy this and you would hold it, the dividend 5 to 5.9%. It's a long-term stock. It's a FADO. It's a Sharia compliance. It's rated 8 out of the 16 semiconductors and 18 out of the 109. So that's what you will get with the VSA 360. And all you got to do is just set out onto the alert and create it in there. And if you hits the top, that's something you want to consider in here. All right. So that's how easy we want to set up the VSA 360 in here to give you the kind of feel. So that's the first one. Second one on our list is DNO. Okay, DNO just also turned Green Pentagon. Okay, you can see from here, and this stock has turned Green Pentagon, but this was a big up move, and usually in VSA, a widespread bar that you see here, there's likely you're going to see pullback coming back into 420 in here, and on a successful pullback, there's something that we teach in our course by our coach Fu in here. You might want to get back on in. Now DNO don't have any ratings, partly is because the PE is pretty high, 49% in here with the return on it. But guess what? Public Bank has a call on this 5th of December for 5 ringgit 16. I'm not sure the previous one we have that or not. Let's take a look at the Globetronics. Okay. No, they didn't have that call. It's not covered, but DNO is favorable, and that's why you have this. That's almost a 20% upside per Public Bank, 5th of December. So if you believe analysts, this thing can move 20%, why not? All right. So this is a good time to be looking at it. All right. What do you think? All right. And of course, you can also look at the financials. You can look at the 4-year trends. All these are available on the website. So those are the two had yet to be moved. Many of them already moved. So you might want to check out the third section to look for a little bit of stock picking in here. Now, how about the US tech stocks? We cannot divert ourselves away from the US side right now here, right? Definitely some of the market favorite like Apple, Microsoft, Google, even TSM has made news, I think today, being building up the second plant in Arizona. Is to minimize the so-called threat of China invading Taiwan. So if TSMC, because TSMC all the while has a premium risk, which is, you know, being in Taiwan, and they do produce some of the high-tech 5-micron chip in here, and of course many tech companies also need those. Either they are the semiconductors, the computers, the handphones, right? Many of the intelligent gadgets also need that, and IoT, and that's what TSM moving to US is actually a very positive thing with the CHIP Act. Okay, then you have Nvidia, Tencent, and the Meta platform. Now, of course, all things being said, we always have this thing on the back of our head, which always been plaguing us, is the inflation, the interest rate, and the uncertainty. So we will tackle of them, and this has caused pretty much the year 2022 to be underwater the whole year, right? It started with the Russian and Ukraine war. You all remember, right? On February 24th, I did talk about it. You can check out some on YouTube. I was only expecting the war to end 3 months. 3 months, right? Because looking at what Ukraine, but we never know, right? The Ukraine people and President Zelensky in here was so resilient until now. And even tonight, you heard about they may have this drone that can strike back Russia. So can you imagine if Ukraine will strike back Russia, Russia strike back Ukraine? Hiya, this war is going to go on. Am I right or not? Right. So with that, how are we going to get out from this mess? So sometimes the market has very mysterious way. Don't give up on the market. I've been in the market long enough, and I think in many ways, right, you are able to get into a better position, especially market bottoming right now with the Pentagon green buyer. Now, first thing, let's look at the inflation and interest rate, and then we're going to talk about it. But let's get on to something in here. So keep in mind is the negative comment right now by Jamie Dimon. Right, Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan, and he's one of those CEOs who make pretty good forecasts over the last 40 years, and you have seen a lot, just like Ray Dalio in here. And one article he put it up on October this year, talk about, hey, recession is likely to be in 2023, and this is also due to something that you have seen a lot. This what we call the inverted yield curve. So let me tonight just share a bit with you, so make sure our audience tonight also know, beside the technicals, just like the sign strength, sign weakness, and all our very plentiful of VSA 360, but also aware of the indicators that we talk about. Thus tells you where the Feds are going. But he do believe that the recession in 2020 is likely, but you need to know one thing when it comes to technical. I'm going to share with you tonight, so don't miss out. Now, if you look at the inverted U chart, which is used to predict recession in here, this is from Bloomberg, just came out on 2 days ago in here. And the pink zone that you see here, these are the recession. The pink zone are the recession, okay? So what it simply says is that when the inverted yield curve between the short and the long, if you do a net over them, the long and the short, you're going to have a single number, because a long-term yield minus a short-term yield, you will have this number. And when this the net effect between the long-term interest rate and the short-term interest rate, you will have this figure. And whenever the figure hit zero, right, after 6 or 9 months, you'll get recession, and it is pretty much there. So again, we have the first GBD lower figure last 2 quarters ago, but this time we have a plus 26. So that's what he look at this data. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, he says that, look, if the figures hit below zero, 6 to 9 months sure get recession one. That's true, right? But he forgot one thing. He's not a technical guy like us, like me and you. We look at charts, we look at green Pentagon, and we know the sign, strength, sign, and weakness. And that's why I'm saying it. But on the background of it, something that is very positive is China is scrapping a lot of the controversy COVID rules, right? As President Xi was appointed in October, early November as his third terms, President Xi, that people were always hoping that likelihood he will ease off a lot of the COVID-19 restriction. But I think now they are looking into vaccination of the older people, and I do think that with this, we have seen the future Hang Seng futures actually jump up. Of course, right now on positive news, everything is negative, turn bearish, just like the news one of the audience member was saying, RHB downgraded semiconductor to neutral or even bearish in here. And the same thing with the market reopening, guess what? Smart money buy here, right? You can see from our VSA 360, we pick it up, no supply SOX, just here, NS here, right? On just before on the 14th, and Green Pentagon came out on the 14th of November. So that's what you need to use enough to really believe in it. Hey, Green Pentagon, you better, take notice of this kind of thing. And if you don't, a lot of time people only want to buy because people are used to hearsay and that, and they do not have our full-fledged our VSA 360. So reminder, our December sales, that's a special one. We don't do too many in here. We'll give you a chance to really get yourself into this. So you can see from the VSA 360 in here, as far back on the 14th November, the market already picked up, and since then has moved up from around the this was the Hang Seng was 220,000. Now it's about 18,000, but at that level is about close to about 16,000 in here, and the market picks up in here. But right now I think it's going to go through this profit taking right now in here. Usually the market will always turn on this kind of spring, so pay attention to spring. Really important. Pay attention to spring in here. Okay, another positive which I did talk about in here, no doubt the recession 2023 sort of been talked about in here, but I do believe, I may be wrong, that this analyst in here has already priced in the downturn. All right, the downturn of the market in here. AMD, Nvidia, and 3 more chips are stocks to buy, has been priced in. If you look at the SOXX, the semiconductor ETF, we actually hit the bottom right in mid-October, and then the market sort of pick up. You can see again, green pentagon, pick it up very early, just like the Hang Seng, just like the KLSE, before everybody knows it yet. All right, so that's the power of green pentagon. Very early we pick it up in here. It's designed to work that way. But what I really like for my own preference is for the SOXX, SOXX, to form a double bottom first before I really want to go in and buy. But right now you may have a nice railway track. It hasn't broken beyond the 200-day moving average. No doubt Dow Jones has broken, partly because Dow Jones contains also many of the value stocks, which is usually the traditional like oil and gas and energy, and those have done pretty well. If you look at the energy like Chevron, they have been up 50 or 60%. These are the technology that usually a lot of popular and the average investor look at in here. So having said that, we at times, and this is my point here, see, at times, not all the time, market usually reflect the bottom first before the recession confirmed, which is 9 to 12 months. That means saying the economic indicator is the recession, what Jamie Dimon was talking about. But guess what? The chart reflect it first. By the time they confirm recession, most people sell, right? Guess what? The market moves up. Just like what we're saying on Hang Seng now turns selling because China reopening. But green pentagon pick it up much earlier, right? So the same thing we are saying in here, market likely to bottom before the recession. Because most people right now will be figuring, hey, it's a recession, I better sell everything. Correct not? And then buy back until the recession is confirmed. Market may have already start moving. I think it's also good for those of you who have been following it for some time, and you probably understand the technicality, the power of volume spread analysis. Follow the smart money. Follow the smart money, where smart money usually get it right, just like now the bottom has been formed here. And going back to the live FB I've talked about on the 23rd November, same time 9:30 in here, I talk about swallow the fear and prepare for the December rally. And I've been telling all our members in our to our subscriber in here, this is where you want to be ready. You don't want to be ready only in December, right? Just like I always say before, you don't want to be you want to build a bathroom before you need to go one. You don't only build one when you need to. And in a way, it's very similar. So we said, swallow the fear and prepare for the December rally as early as 23rd of November. So on that, we were talking about the Christmas rally, both on the Bursa and Nasdaq. And guess what? You know what they say? The early bird catches the early worm. So at that time, of course, we go back a day before on the 23rd. We were looking at the 3 sectors. I think I've shared you before. Check out in the technology, energy, and finance. These are the 3 sectors that I do like. And I'm giving you some stock idea. And guess what? All of them started to move up. Not all of them fly, because these are some pretty solid stock. And then so on the US side, we are looking at the energy, the consumer staple, the finance, and also the technology sector. Again, in our 360 all together. So some of the US trade idea, very powerful, very strong energy sectors. technology, financial, consumer, but only 2 days ago. But remember, 2 days ago, I think a day ago, where the EU and the G7 came out and talked about capping the energy at $60. So that's where you can see all prices started to fall up. So that's continued to be very volatile in here. But let's turn our focus on the KLSE side, which is only 3 sectors: energy, technology, and finance. And incidentally, in our trade, right, in our hot sectors, you can also see energy and technology are those top 5 in here. Financials, if not just type in financials, you can also pick up in here. And the key thing is look for those stocks that hasn't moved yet. So let's look at the Bursa Malaysia shares here. And you can see at that time on the energy sectors in here, Hibiscus was the stock I was talking about. All right, Hibiscus just turned green pentagon on 22nd of November. So when you have this screener, right, at night at 10 o'clock. So next morning on the opening, you muscle. All right, so on the opening, you muscle. This is what happened. Opening, this is on the 23rd. Market was around, you can see from here, Hibiscus was 99.5 cents. All right, 99.5 cents as we discussed on that time. And then lo and behold, I think 3 or 4 days ago, it hit 116. So that was a 16.5% potential return, right? We don't talk about your own target profit, right? But we talk about the potential first. So from a $10,000 trade, you can make a $1,600 trade, preparing early. As I say, being prepared early, spotting the green pentagon in here. All right. Then on the technology side, the usual suspect I've talked about in here was Inari. Inari at that time, when we talk about 22nd November, was 253. All right, 2 ringgit 53 in here. You can see the chart. I even show it in here, right? 253. And I said Inari may have room for more upside. Yet indeed, you can see from here, discussed at 253. And then it went up high of 286. Again, a potential of 13%. Now, you do know that some of these very large cap stock, they don't move a lot. You know, for a year, if they move 13%, and you can capture maybe 10%, 8%, that's very, very good. And it goes into your piggy bank, right? Your trading account piggy bank, and keep it in there by using the right indicator. Definitely, I do hope that you will select the VSA 360 or our Smart Robie in here. So that was another potential 13% profit in here with a possible 1,300 ringgit from a 10K. I'm not saying you will make the 1,300, you may make $100, you may even lose, but at least it does give you some sort of an indicator going forward. And the other two was also Dayang and Franken. So let's take a look at them too. So on the 23rd of November, we have this 134. It did hit high of 141. Again, Dayang 5.2% in here for a possible 500 ringgit, slightly more for 10K trade. So not too bad. Trend still up. You can see, right? The railway track still up. So that's why you want to stay with this trend in here, right? Of course, the many questions I usually get, this stock can buy now. Then you know what I will say, right? What I always say, follow the green pentagon, okay? So on this one, the next one was Franken. We were talking about it, 282. So usually if you enter not at the green pentagon, after green pentagon, then you better have some experience. Maybe you want to join some of our masterclass that we were doing in here, and definitely our 100-day orientation is one way you want to be exploring. So check it out in here, because we want to spend the next 3 months training you up, right, to be a good trader and a good investor. It's always practical exercise, using the right tool, getting the right mindset, and being serious with your investment. If you're really serious about making money, this is something that you want to be looking at. So the market hit 334. Right, on Franken, that is a potential of 18.4% from a 10K trade, giving you a 1,843. Now remember the earlier December sales, right? You're paying our package for the half price. That's for 1 year, and this is only one trade. Makes sense, right? One trade, 1,008, right? 1 full year, many ideas, many support, many coaching and lesson for less than that amount in here, right? Just another idea. Now also in part of our education, we have the US market Telegram chat. This is from our coach Swilo in here. He did share with some of the top US stock to buy, and he was looking at 10 best company, 8 semiconductor company to buy amid the global chip shortage. So he pulled out the chart from the Tradingview and see how they perform July to date. And he have tested some of the charts in here. All he observed is if you buy at green pentagon and you exit at red pentagon, you will make money, right? Then this is the whole point what we're saying in here. Now these are the one: Alphabet, Meta, Intel, Oracle. I know you quickly want a snap photo of this, right? And go back and check your Tradingview chart with our VSA 360 package in here. All right. So let's take a look at one of them. Looking at the weekly chart. Guess what? Google just turned green pentagon. All right, so interestingly enough, turn green pentagon in here. No doubt they haven't moved up to the red area in here. Again, holding up on the 200-day moving average of the weekly chart. You can also switch to a daily chart. You can do it on the VSA 360 in here. Qcom is another semiconductor, right? Another one that I like. Hasn't done green pentagon yet, but the kind of support that you see, eventually it will turn the kind of green pentagon. We'll see whether maybe next year we'll look at, but Qcom is definitely you want to set your eye into in here. Again, when we do this, we always have to bear in mind these three bear monsters, right? That bear monsters is bearing down. If you don't have any of those three, you don't have the war, you don't have the, again, you don't have the war, then you won't have the food prices, you won't have the so-called shortage of oil, and supply chain, then you don't have the COVID, all this sort of, trickling started way back in 2020, going back to 2020. Now, the first thing we want to look at is the 2022 bear monster in here, which has been sort of taper off, right? Which means they are getting less. All right. Now, early on, the inflation figures hit 8.8%, almost 9, and we had a big jump, which is about I think on about 2 weeks ago, right? The market moved up. Is because the US inflation figure hit 7.73. Now again, the next one coming up will be on the 14th of which is actually one more week from now. If the figure were to drop below 7, you can see that US rally is going to be moving up, and our KLCI will also move up. And this is where we talk about the recession. 2020 we have two, what we call two consecutive GDP. So we have recession in here. Guess what? Then US came in and they cut interest rate, and that's what the market eventually got. This is also the COVID. We did have two very small, -6 and -0. They were quite positive. So the last quarter, the GDP was 2.9. These are the quarterly GDP figures. Now remember, two successive GDP figures, negative, recession, technical recession. So we had one already rescue us lah. So that's what when Jamie buying the Diamond C, following the inverted U curve, right? That's one thing. Okay, that's historical, that's trend. But don't forget the US Fed with Jerome Powell, they have the money printing. They can be bearish or bullish. And if you look in terms also, they look at job numbers, they look at employments, they look at the cost of inflation. Very important, if the inflation figures does come down significantly, they may just delay interest rate rise, right? And that will spur a lot of business, and then you see the market rallying. That's what I'm hoping it may or may not happen, but at least you get the analysis from my thought here. Now, if you have any comment you want to go on, just let me know. Now, remember, the stock market is actually a forward-thinking instrument. That's what I shared with you the last couple of points. You cannot look at in the past. Just like when people look at it, semiconductor is bearish, sell everything. It doesn't work like that. The stock market is always forward-thinking. You need to look at the charts, you need to look at the sentimental, you need to look at the indicator, and all this has been sort of priced in and built into our VSA Pentagon algorithm, and that's why we give you the benefit of some of the tools that we have seen in here. So this was something that I bought previously. I still have two stocks on hand, the Apple and also the T-Mobile, which I bought recently in here. One is in positive money, one is just slight 50 ringgit loss. So I'm still waiting for this December rally, if they're going to pick up and we're going to move on. And these are the two stocks that we bought when we did our live trading. Some of the evening, because of the market 10:30, we'll do a bit of live trading just to share it in here. So where are we right now? Now, if you look at it, the interest rate hike, a lot has been said that they're going to do a 50 basis point or maybe 75 basis point in December. The inflation figures will be released either on the 14th or after the 14th of December. And if they were, you're going to see that market move up and down. The KLCL right now is minus 5.2 year to date. But I do believe it will close a bit higher. Some of the things that were said by Rakuten Trade has some meaning. You know, they've been around for some time. So if he says it will close at 1560, which is another 100 point, another 6 to 7 point, just take note of it. But right now, the KLCI has turned red pentagon in here. Just keep an eye on it turning green, right? And the KLCI is toppish right now, but only a few counters available. And those two we talk about it, DNO and also Globetronics. So be very selective about it in here. Some of the stock, know all them, but you can also check out energy and also construction in here for that matter. So again, we take pride in the members and also our audience. We do hope that we can train more of our members. It's part of our 100-day Trade VSA onboarding orientation to bring you out the best if you're going to have another good run in 2023 in here. And why we do that is because we feel that one way is do a lot of stock paper trading competition, because from then onwards you're able to focus on mastering well the tools, the mindset, and finally as part of developing your year. So the whole point, our focus is on mastery, accepting of error, and that's where we want to see. A lot of people come in and say, hey, give me a stock tip. And then what happens is that we see them continuing to make the same mistake year and year again because they never develop the skill and the knowledge. Or some people just, if you look back on the performance over the years, you never really make money. And that's the point. You can see the KLCI, right? I said before, the last 7 years, this has not really gone up. So go back and look at yourself. And here, we are quite confident to help you to succeed through our orientation. And this is where your chance, the onboarding, the VSA 360, the 100-day will give you that opportunity. Now, take opportunity right now, and some of the things we share with you, we have a platform which we develop in here together with a third party. You can see the 100-day. They all started, like some of our more senior member. They also joined our orientation, although they are one of the senior, been around for a couple of years. They started with 50,000 on 15th November. On the 7th of December, they're close to 300,000 ringgit in here. Even some of those people who's actively trading, they are making a lot of good returns. And this is something that we want to do some sharing and learning together. Can you imagine? No doubt these are all paper trading, but yet they are using the right method to see, and more importantly, for the beginner. Don't you want to know how Nick and Vince and Ahmad from $50,000 can bring it up $200,000? I'm sure you want to learn that, and that's why we talk about the 100-day orientation where the members meet together and share, and we happen to be doing this Saturday. All right, this Saturday in here will be one of our items that we'll be doing in here. So our goal is always focus on you. You are the person that we hope to bring the best out, the mastery of the skill, and then benefit from a lot of the intraday. So only start trading when you have done the essential. Ensure you have some success in paper trading, incorporating it, and do it differently. All right, and have someone like a coach like myself watching over you in here. So I will summarize in here for tonight. So the KLSE technology is possible at the end of the run, as I said before, looking for the market bearish. But if we do break, and if it does break, will be after the 14th of December when the news of the inflation up or down, because we did see the energy broke and run up, right? The energy sectors. Few counter hasn't run yet, so those are the one, and at least you have some dividend behind it in here. The December 2022 may run, as I said before, pending on the announcement of the inflation, what are the figures coming out, and whether the interest rate hike is going to be 50 or 75 basis point, all right? And if you have some of those dead stocks, better sell them off and focus on the positive things, shorter terms with target profit, and follow the smart money, follow the green pentagon in here. And of course, we are very proud that to share with you our December sales. We have 5 more days left, right, where you buy one, get one free, so you're only paying half your cost. All you have to do is find another friend and subscribe to it. Now take note, this is only for new members, only new members only, and not for non-existing, not for current members. Okay, so you know what they say, the early bird get the early worm. So 5 days left, right? On the last day will be the 12th of December. Buy one, get one free. Okay, so that's me, Martin Wong, the creator of the Pentagon Guider, which has been very successful, and we are spreading the wings now to corporate side and also overseas in here. Green Pentagon, buy red pentagon, sort of know where you are. That's what we are saying in here. And we have great review in here helping many of our beginners and people like yourself to do much better in here. Of course, our regular prices are also in our website in here, but I do take note the December sales, buy one get one free, will put you in the right spot. At least for the next 12 months, all your education and teaching will be handled with confidence in here. Alright, so that's all I have tonight. If you have any comment or question, I'm happy to answer, and thank you for our regular members who's been a great support with us in here. We couldn't make it for the entire year 2022, and follow me again next Wednesday. Next Wednesday we're doing a special short course which we will do it over 2 Wednesday, so make sure you catch that topic in here. So and also tell your friends to attend our short course that we'll be doing on next Wednesday on using some of the VSA tools that will help you put you ahead 98% of other traders and beyond. Thank you and good night.